best ass in the game, and you already know. Back-to-back trailers we dissing on Chroma. 9 of my fingers is straight at the dome. 4 rings on my hands and a bump of the coke. The Wednesday edition with Tuesday and Waff. I'm bringing the takes that'll make me some mops. I'm gonna say every Mark player's a cop. I'm gonna say we should ban every box. 100k likes on the tweet about Zach, but I'm about to get me 1 million from Jack. And someone tell Spark that the vibes are just whack. You'll be seeing ghosts when you're trying to run back. Cause I'm gonna say that the rankings are bad. I'm gonna say that Drake is your dad. I'm gonna say that you're Sunny Saigon. These pundits ain't ready for shit that I'm on.
All right, welcome to Fourside Fights featuring The Cheat. Tuesday, Chroma, and homemade waffles. Citizens of Fourside, I'm Jackzilla, and I know, number one, I have joined the sheep masses by taking my talons to Loxodont, the elephant guy in Rivals 2. Number 2, you'll never walk alone. Number 3, Mikey's relentless attacks on Chroma and our episode trailers demand a response. And number 4, I think this week marks the end of Walgreens Drake. Let's go to each side. Should we quietly retire Axe's decade-old nickname to avoid association with the Grams? Let's start with the cheat himself.
Yeah, you don't want to be anywhere near that. You know, he's striking me as more of a J. Cole kind of figure in this whole team of things now.
That makes sense. He hosts a game show that one day might be edited into a video I can watch. It's Tuesday.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, no, I think Walgreens J. Cole doesn't sound quite as good. We can workshop that, but it's something in that direction for sure.
Okay, he's in a pit of despair. What do you think, Chroma?
Honestly, I thought we pivoted 6 years ago. I thought we've agreed that Hungrybox is the Drake and LeBron of Melee.
Did you believe the deepfake that Hungrybox put out?
Honestly, I did, and our next guest immediately knew it wasn't true. So I have to give props to that.
Yeah, he's the only one in the Melee community who knew that wasn't the real Drake and who is as skeptical of home ownership as I am. It's homemade waffles.
Yo, what's up? I'm actually surprised people thought that shit was real. Like, man, y'all need to be around more black people, man. That's all I'm saying.
It's our hatred of Hungrybox overruled our desire to not be racist in that moment. Welcome to Fourside Fights. We've got 4 outstanding guests today who are going to act as pundits as I throw topic after topic at them. They'll give their takes. If they're entertaining or interesting, I'll give them points. If they're boring, repetitive, or patently unreasonable, I'll subtract. And of course, I can mute any contestant at any time for any reason. The player with the most points at the end is our winner. They get to commentate the 3 losers as they take it to Fourside in a free-for-all so we can see exactly how their punditry translates to Melee. Let's get started with our first topic. Since our last show, there have been 3 notable events. Pat's House 4, the largest in person in San Diego, Matcha Cup, a stacked online event, and Spit Your Game, a New York regional that flew in S2J, the reigning king of New York, to defend his title. Let's start with Pat's House, where Zane defended his title from a resurgent Mango, Cody got 3rd, and Spark got 4th in his first run at a major top 8. What surprised you the most about Pat's House? Let's start with the cheat.
Yeah, it's not just Spark me, and I'm not surprised by this, but I think the wider Melee world probably was that now we have 3 Arizona players who can be top 8 contenders at tournaments like this. Eds is here. He's got 3 kids and a job at T-Mobile, and he's still fucking on everyone. And I love to see it. And I can't wait for the day that I see, Meds or Spark pop up in a Genesis top 8. Because Axe he's been carrying the flag on his back literally for years. So it's very cool to see a couple more people come along and kind of take that mantle.
Tuesday, what do you think?
Yeah, no, Spark really did impress me. He once again proving that might does equal right. He's right about controllers. He's right about everyone's opinions on him. He's beaten J-Mook. He's beaten Moki. So I'm really proud of him. Doubles is really fun to watch too. I don't know if y'all watched it. A lot of really cool stuff. Nut and Vavez, always really cool to watch them. So I'm really happy to see them. But losing to Venilox and Noir was.
Did a lot of people watch Doubles? You kind of said it trepidatiously there.
I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people watch Doubles. Not a lot of the top 8 contenders entered it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All stats.
Chroma, what do you think?
Honestly, I was not that surprised that Waleed went down to Unsure. We were putting way too many hopes and dreams on Waleed as San Diego as a whole. I was actually kind of surprised pleasantly to see Unsure beat CPU 0 because Unsure was nasty to me on Fourside a couple weeks ago. So I was hoping to see that happen for him. Very strong TO, very strong player. Spark, his hatred inspired him to levels that I really wasn't anticipating. So props to him. But for me, it was the Mangus. I was sleeping. I didn't know he was going to sauce Cody like that. He boomed Jmook, whose eyes weren't working. But honestly, I think Jmook transcends human limitations so often that I didn't think that was going to stop him. I was really excited to see Mango back because I did not call that.
Yeah. Brandon, anything stand out to you about Pat's house?
Well, I'm not shocked about Unsure because we played at full bloom and I got packed up. So he's really good. So I wasn't too crazy about that. Mango 3-0 and Jmook probably shocked me the most. With Spark, I felt like it was just a matter of time. I still think that was Spark. I don't think he's peaked yet. But I'd say Mango playing Falco with Sheik or playing versus Sheik as Falco because I don't know. He be getting clapped, bro. I had no faith. I'm like, oh, he about to get fucked up again. And then he just, I don't know. He just did the opposite. So that was
I've been on so low faith in Mango's Falco for so long now that my mind is already erasing Pat's house. And like the whole past 2 weeks, I'm like, no.
Just especially versus Sheik, man. I'm just like, oh. But hey, he figured it out. That Crudo practice come in handy. So that's probably stood out the most.
Yeah, my psyche is already returning to median right now, just from like, it had that high Mango 1, something that was cool, but it's like already settling. The dust is settling. I'm already back into, he's going to lose to Jmook again.
And it's like grand finals was like the most encouraging thing. The one other part about Pat's house that I kind of wanted to bring up is, what happened to Cody? Going 5 games with CPU 0, I believe. Third is fine, but he's been destroying Mango for the past couple sets. It doesn't seem like it made sense for him to regress to like 2022.
That's not surprising to me. See, when Cody talks shit, he seems to get hit. When Zayn says something like, I am never losing to you again, the next set is going to be brutal and malicious. Cody's arm was also broken, and he got finessed by the dog dealership. I will say that. Those are not Pomskis. They got big paws for a puppy. That dog weighs 15 pounds, and he's maybe 3 months old. You're in trouble, my friend. Huskies are a whole handful. I'm a sell on Cody, though I love those dogs. They're really cute.
Damn, yeah, they might get big. All right, let's move on to our next topic. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I was just going to say this tournament kind of brings up something that I've always vehemently believed in, and that is tournament fatigue for Fox mains is real. Because he went game 5 over and over, and he barely beat Kador and barely beat CPU 0. Then went game 5 with Mango, like 15 games in, you're going to be tired.
Yeah, even in his best runs, he usually just 3-0s everybody, and that keeps the fatigue at bay.
Real quick, I wanted to add this random, but Cody buying 2 Huskies. I've only ever had one dog in my life, and it was a Siberian Husky, and she was really small and became massive. So
how big are we talking?
Like
70,
over
80,
100 pounds,
over 100,
something like that. I had a big ass dog. Well, and then the crazy part, you can't. You have to leash them at all times because they take off running. So that's something that he's gonna have to think about. Well, out of the 2 of them, sounds wild.
You know what Cody needs to do now? He needs to upgrade to 9 because in Anthony Bruno's theory, that's the point at which they start taking care of each other. You know?
Yeah. I'm just like
he's in that Liam Neeson movie where they would start winning at that point. There would be no success for the monkey.
That's right.
Let's move on to our next topic. This is a stat from Chroma09 that I saw. At Ludwig Smash Invitational in 2022, Mango and Hungrybox beat Zayn back-to-back in Swiss pools. Since that day, Zayn has now played Mango and Hungrybox 22 times in in-person sets, or I think 23 now, adding the one extra one, with a 23-0 record. Should we count Mango's win over Zayn at Matcha Cup, which was an online event from Nouns, the sponsor of Aklo and Cody Schwab, as a break in that streak? Or does Mango need to do it in person to actually break the 23 streak?
Did anybody start or?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not in charge.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I want to know within those 23 sets, was online counted prior? Because if so, then yeah. But if it wasn't, then
it's all in person.
Then no.
It's all in person.
yeah, then I'm kind of like iffy about it. Like, I mean, just mainly for consistency reasons.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's still a good sign for Mango regardless, but that's crazy, yo. I think, when we gonna have that Zane and Rushmore conversation? I know we always talk about Mango Armada Hungry Box, but damn, I don't think a player has done that to them two ever. So
yeah, I didn't even know that Armada can say that he was ever 23-0 on Mango.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever done that versus either of them. Yeah,
It's a stunning streak. It is truly fucked up to take basically the two people still in consideration for the GOATs of the game and not only beat them, not only dominate them, just beat them every single time for years and years and years. And someone was arguing, well, Mango semi-retired. Okay, that doesn't help. That's not better, you understand. And so what I think we were talking about this the next day in Joey's day shift. Does this count for the rankings? Does this count for the streak? No, but it definitely counts for the narrative. I mean, the end of that game too was beautiful. He looked confident. He almost looked a little high, and also because he was online, he didn't give so much of a shit, and there wasn't the same fear there. He just kind of cooked. And so if he can channel that in person, that would be impressive, but I think it doesn't count until it's in person.
Tuesday, Mikey?
Yeah, no, I'm on board with it. I wanted to be the hot take guy and say, you know what? Yeah, it does count, but no, it doesn't count. Not towards that streak. This is a huge streak of in-person events. No, you can't just take an online set and say that ends the streak. That's a different thing.
Can I squeeze a different hot take out of you? How much longer do you think the streak is going to go?
Ooh. Oh, it's ending this year.
Oh,
it's ending this year. With the trajectory that Mango's been playing at, the mentality that I've been seeing, at least from the things he said on his stream and the things he's been showing us, not just saying, but the practice he's been putting in, and his results in the last 4 tournaments. I think he's no one. If Mango keeps, even if he stays where he's at, doesn't improve anymore, Zane's not going to beat him every time if they keep playing this year.
I mean, that's what he's been doing. Why wouldn't he?
I just think the Mango that I've been seeing at the beginning of this year is different than the Mango that I saw at the end of last year.
Listen, I'm ready to take this to its logical extent. I'm ready to be the brave hero that engineers a Melee world. Mango stays winning. The last 2 tournaments that we won were Smash Summit 14 and Main Stage 2022, both tournaments that I organized. And now I will be organizing a ranking that counts any online event that Mango and Zane all attend. And so, yes, it does count for Mikey rank.
Okay, this is the sequel to Blur rank where you combine in person. How do you feel about being in that company?
Fantastic. And I'm going to get Ringler to do the website. And so it's going to be a big hit. And whatever he says in those captions is completely up to him. He's my head writer. I'm just putting the players in order.
This is a good segue, Mikey, to our next topic, which is that Nouns has announced their goal to do a Summit-esque invitational fundraised by a voting in phase, a voting in of players with merchandise sales. They want to do this in December. I believe it just got voted on today by whatever kind of weird crypto democracy they're slinging around there. I'm reaching back to the Fourside Fights, like episodes 1 through 12, when we used to talk about the viability of crypto sponsorships, but they keep crawling back. What would Nouns need to do to make their event feel like a proper Summit sequel or like spiritual successor, even if they don't have the same production budget that they once had?
Even if they don't have the same production budget, I think that the creative content would go a long way. Don't just put on an event. There was so much that made Summit magical. Besides the event, the high level gameplay, there were like sketch comedy productions. There were trailers. There were voting incentives, a lot of really cool stuff that they did creatively. And yeah, they might not have the budget for like a video production team, but they could do something creative on the low.
Okay. I'm hearing something. They should do something. Very good.
Yeah.
Chroma, what do you think? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Brendan.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Chroma.
Sure. I have a multifaceted point of attack. First, I think you got to put their head guy, who's their Smash envoy, the face of the Borg that we see the most, which is Peter Pandam, who actually showed up to spit your game. I believe went 0-2. Funny, interested in the scene. I want to hear a little bit more from him. I think that would be good. If you could give Smashers a bit of spectacle, I think that'd be important. Some sort of play-in scenario, some sort of interfacing with the current scene in a way that's positive. They've really done, a lot with that. bringing people out to a bunch of tournaments. Tipped off's next. They sent Paladin up to BOBC 5, which we loved. We love to see that, or I forget which BOBC. And then I would love some sort of voting spectacle. I mean, they have some sort of infrastructure with the DAO. You need to ease people into the crypto, or maybe, there's no crypto at all. maybe you just leave us out of the crypto for a bit. There are enough weirdos in the scene at this point, lovable weirdos, that they will probably just do some cocaine and buy some crypto. And, you can hit them. We'll buy merch. People love contributing. And honestly, at this point, this is as good as we're going to get. Somehow they survive Sam Bankman-Fried's boozle and everyone going to jail. And I don't want to take money from the Saudis. I think at this point, crypto nerds, sure. All right, fine.
We've been shown the dark side, and we'll take the gray.
It's getting bad out there.
Brandon?
I mean, I think it's good in the sense of, like, I just think I don't think people realize how much invitationals were needed until Summit was over.
Yeah.
So I think just having something like that, and then, like, it's like Preston was saying, it's not just about, like, Summit and the sketches too, but all the stuff that led into it, all the discussions, all the gameplay we got before invitationals was always, like, to me, probably the most hype part about it. So to see everybody come together for it, I think it'd be cool. As far as, like, crypto and stuff, I don't really know shit about crypto or none of that.
So you're open to some crypto sponsorships?
I'm necessarily not saying that because I don't know what I'm doing, but it's just like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Pay motherfuckers out on, like, Bitcoin or something? I have no idea. So
I'm trying to get paid in Hugo coin. I need more Hugo coin.
Hugo coin plummeted every time. Every time he showed up on the sticks against Mikey.
I lost everything.
Should be good to see what's gonna happen. I don't know.
Every Smash Summon makes Hugo coin plummet. What do you want me to say, Jack?
What do you want to say?
You want me to say they can't do it like me?
Do you want to say that?
I wish them well. I will say one thing. I've streamed my life to just make anything crypto just roll off of me, like water on a fucking duck. Like I've tuned out nouns. I'm not gonna front, and I feel like a lot of people have too. Because how many people knew that fucking online tournament was happening?
Yeah,
and one word of advice: I think the logo is so painfully 2010s gamer that it also adds to this effect for me, unfortunately. So, like, I would love to see an invitational event pop up and be successful. But I do think that holding on to crypto is the last vestiges of something that people have rejected, basically. Like, I think that it's over.
What's the thing that they would need to do to make it feel like Summit for, like, people watching, people there? Like, what was the secret sauce when you were there that you felt like maybe somebody else, if they were starting from ground zero, where do they go?
I mean, generally, I would say that every aspect of Summit was geared around making people feel as if they were there with us in some way, shape, or form. From the way that the set was designed to have, like, a mic there for players to come by and talk about whatever they were feeling at any given point in time, to showing them in a light, that's not competitive, and that's, just having fun playing a game or being a part of a content piece. So, I think that stuff is kind of what people want to see out of an event like this. They want to see the stuff that they normally don't get to see from tournaments.
Okay.
Yeah. On Summit, whenever I watched it, I felt like I knew everyone there. I knew everyone in production. I knew who was running the tournament. It felt like it was part of our scene. The only thing I really know about Nouns is that they like to sign the most boring Fox players that I can think of.
Hey, that's a friend of the show there. That's a Fourside Fights winner you're talking about. And Aklo.
You have to interpret Aklo as performance art. Aklo is just pulling some bullshit tricks on us constantly. He's always pretending to tweet things like, did you know Fox is a good fast character and that you can be speedy, but Falcon is faster? and then pretend that he just found that out 2 days ago and he's top 15 in the world. He's just fucking with us.
What's wrong with being a lifelong learner? And speaking of Aklo, let's move on to our next topic. At Spit Your Game, NJ's Finest earned over 1,300 betting against Aklo and on S2J to win their money match or grudge match. But Aklo won the main event after a vicious losers run, with S2J losing to Lewis and Keita to get 9th. Who's the king of New York now? Is it the guy who won the money match about who's the king of New York, or the guy who won the event that they both entered? I don't know what to make of this. Who has the sword? Anyone can take it.
I guess I'll say, I still think it's Aklo, just giving it. I get the whole meme with Johnny going out there beating New York, but I don't know. I just feel like with Aklo, it's he been, especially at Brookland, that dude is immortal at Brookland for some reason. He just does not lose there. So, Johnny's my boy, but I say Aklo's the king of New York.
S2J's a pretender to the throne.
He's not even from New York or lives there, so
they keep offering him the title. They keep putting it on the line.
Yeah. He did smoke Aklo, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know, Aklo, he just keeps winning the tournaments, so I don't know. I just gotta give it to Aklo.
Tuesday, what do you think?
S2J's not a usurper of the throne. He is an instated figurehead by the people of New York. Like the actual monarchy in the UK. He doesn't have any real power, right? He's not running anything, but the people have spoken. I guess he's the king of New York. He played for the king of New York. He won it. They seem to like the concept, even though he doesn't really, win all of their tournaments. The official power belongs with Aklo for sure, but the unofficial figurehead title, I would give that one to Johnny.
Shogun and the Emperor.
I think it's a multifaceted answer on my part. Johnny did what he did, but the real winner of that money match was, of course, Carl. Carl also proposed and is now engaged. So, that's it. Hey. Everybody loves Carl. Carl can say and do whatever he wants in Tri-State, include openly rooting against Aklo in the money match. And you all have to take it because he's just a lovable guy. He's a delight. He's why Johnny really comes out. That's a big part of it. I think outside of that, I would say Willie P and Dark Gen X on the TOing and commentating and /TOing side. They're probably kings in New York. Everybody seems to love what they're doing, which is beautiful. They've got a good situation. But the true monarch, the true person you're worried about is 40116. As the craziest motherfucker I have ever heard of. That man played net play with no audio and barely even looking at the screen for years and terrorized most top players. You watch Fro play and you need to realize that if you're a top player, it's time to adapt or start filling out job applications because it's going to be his reign forever. That's the smartest man I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
He's a peripheral vision gamer.
Watching Subway Surfers.
These fuckers need to stop flying out SoCal and start flying out the real belt holder in this matchup, which is Mets, who has smacked up S2J the last couple of times they played and also beat Aklo at Genesis. Stop dodging Arizona. We're here. You can't ignore us.
I feel like I was random as fuck, bro. Didn't nobody bring up Arizona.
I'm a company.
I'm from here. I need to rep it, bro.
Never will.
I'm trying to get my T-Mobile employee friend a flight to New York.
Fair enough. I respect it.
Everyone knows New York is afraid of SFOP.
Right? Hey, man. I guess
these fuckers do not want to see Aura.
The real king of New York is whoever your local best player is.
Yeah. Kadora goes there and wins. Johnny goes there and wins. I'm just saying, give the other regions a shot.
Yeah. I think Johnny might be the king of New York because of what he said after and before the money match. Afterwards, they asked him, what do you do after he won the last 6 games, 2 and 3 stocking a bunch? And Johnny just looks at the camera. He's like, I don't know. Get fucked.
That's very kingly behavior. We all agree that he does carry himself with that kind of regality. Let's move on to our next topic. Mango recently made an announcement that he'd be pulling out the Fox more for Puff and Marth. This is kind of strange to me because I thought he was planning on doing that anyways, but now it was announced. But it got me thinking, where is the line, not just for Falco mains, but for mid-tier mains like Amsa, Axe, and formerly Plup, where you think it's not worth it to optimize this character anymore. I should pick up a secondary or find a new main. How do people decide and find that line that says I need to change?
I just think when you've done all that could be done, and also when you doing the set, what is it like the definition of insanity? You do the same thing over and over, different results, all that. Like, I mean, if you've played somebody 1,000 times and you lost 1,000 times with that character, I don't think it's crazy to try to switch to just change it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's okay when it's like, you maybe you're going back and forth, but I think if you're just getting like cooked, like, dude, just try something else. I don't think it hurts. Worth experimenting.
Mikey, have you been shown the light about Luigi? What scared you off?
Yeah, I mean, paper. The thing is that like I'm nowhere near that point, right? Sometimes it's just what you're gonna have fun with, and Luigi, he's not fun. I don't know what to tell you. He's kind of whack. I think at a high level, I don't know. It seems like there are just some players who, and I guess I'm thinking about Axe in particular. Like no matter how much time he puts into Falco or Young Link or Fox, and I'm sure at this point he has more time into those characters than he does Pikachu. He's just grown such a muscle memory or a bond or whatever it is with this character that I don't really think the results will ever come. Like it'll probably be situationally useful for him. Like if he wants to play Fox against HBox, that's probably his best shot of winning, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But like I cannot see Amsa, who has won majors with Yoshi, switching to any other character, even in like the worst matchup situations for him, because he's been mountaintop. Like why not just keep doing it with Yoshi?
Well, is his goal to win majors because he won all of them in a 2-month span, or is his goal to be number one in the world, which requires you to win, for the whole year?
I mean, I guess it's the latter, but I think that doing the former leads to the latter, and I think that he's got more to do with Yoshi.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I definitely think the mountaintop changes, just especially if you've done it. Because then everybody's going to reference that. So you can't go in with the same thing that,
but so did he. And we thought that he had reached his mountaintop, and then he busted through it. And now he's like, I don't expect him to lose to Moki forever with Yoshi. I think that type of shit is going to change. And I think that his credit is good enough in the other matchups that like once he gets through that Fox problem, like he's still going to have a good shot at all of the other players.
My question, I guess, though, is what is the line where it's like, even if he can take some wins on Foxes, if he is as great of a player as we think he is, why not take the easier matchup?
I mean, here's the thing about it that we see over the game's history, and this is the nicest thing I'm ever going to say about top players. I'm stunned at how unbelievably talented they are at all aspects of the game. PP switching from Falco to Marth, Mango switching from Puff to Falco and Fox and has that Marth and has that Falcon. All the top player, I mean, Armada's Fox, Hungrybox's Ness, the great secondaries of the world. They're so strong with secondaries when they start playing them that it's a little bit stunning. Like, why didn't you start this earlier? But the other thing that's so striking about them is they reverse matchups that looked unwinnable, unbeatable, and then to start farming people. I mean, Hungrybox beating Cody, Amsa also, doing very well in the Fox matchup in spots where you didn't think. PP himself beating Mewtwo King and Marth Sheik. Amsa constantly making re-adaptations and adaptations, and Marth Sheik, all of those matchups, they are almost just the only one where I'm like, you need to switch, it's time to stop, is probably going to be Hungrybox. Hungrybox needs to start playing Fox. That's the only way he's beaten Zayd. He has to go Fox. He's got to learn from Cody. That's the smartest man in the world. He practiced for like a month and then he beat Cody twice. He's Frieza. You telling me he doesn't play Fox for 6 months? He's not beating everybody. I watched him beat Mewtwo King backstage in Fox.
I don't think that would allow him to have his successful streaming career in the same. I think the trade-off was he would lose literally thousands of dollars that he could be spending streaming or growing his stream, and instead he'd be grinding Fox to win, $500 more at a tournament.
I had not considered that.
Choosing to lose.
Choosing to lose.
As we always say.
I think top players on an individual level, you see them and say that, oh, they're so talented. They're so good at this. Amsa's so good at parrying, so good at tech chasing, all these things that make him who he is as a top player. And you make this sort of false equivalency of, well, if he can do these frame perfect links, well, surely he can 15-gallon ledge dash with Fox. But sometimes it's not just a transference of skill or talent. Sometimes you're just a Yoshi main. Sometimes you are just a Pikachu main. Sometimes the things you as a person are good at are character specific, And so on a macro level, sure, I don't think that character diversity necessarily makes Melee a better game. I think an oppressive Fox honestly makes the game better. I'm glad that our best character is Fox, as such a fast and interesting character. But
I think I agree with you, but it freaks me out because I think almost nobody for whom that is true has ever been the best in the world. Maybe Hungrybox is the guy who really only could play Puff, but even that, I'm not sure I believe that.
Zane tried Ice Climbers. That was shit.
It was great.
He just so happened to be a Marth
That is
player.
stretching the definition of try so hard.
If there were no platforms, he would have won. That's if you remember that Stadium transformed, it would have got a lot better.
Could you ever see Zane seriously using another character?
He has said that on this show. He said, I only play Marth because that is my path to winning the most.
But tries Falco and Young Link and Fox all of the time, and it never works. He's just a Pikachu player.
He's been number one multiple times. What's the point? It
worked all the time. I watched him beat McCain with the Young Link. I watched him do things in matchups where people are really prepared for the Pikachu and just bust it out. I don't think he was beating Lovage with any character.
To the other side of the argument, what if Leffen and Plup and Jmook just beat Zane forever, and that matchup becomes unwinnable, like Fox Yoshi or something like that?
I like that.
What happens then? Zane's gonna have to figure it out because he's a fucking Marth player. He has no answer. The Ice Climbers are not gonna get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I some people, I'm sure, more innate towards characters, but I just think to assume fate in one character just because that's all we're used to is to me unfair to that player. Obviously, if they got good enough with one character, they could do it with another. That doesn't mean they should switch, but I just think it's always worth entertaining if you're really trying to.
I just watched so many acts.
You're so axe-pilled. You've been sunk into his dark world.
What do you want me to believe?
Playing a different character.
What do you want me to believe? He's a Pikachu player.
I want you to believe. Do you want me to tell you what I want you to believe? I want you to believe that if Amsa picked up Samus, he'd be taking sets from Cody in 2 months.
Over. Well, I'll leave that, but the broader point.
He's so good at scrapping.
My heart and everything I know about this game wants that to be true, but all evidence slams it to the ground. Everything I've seen of that man's secondaries has shocked me.
Is one thing not proof enough?
Then he's bad. Let's say it.
We already have Samus Amsa. His name is Morsecode. He hits every AI. He hits every missile cancel. He does perfect tech skill, walks around the stage, and he beat Cody the one time, and then Cody cheated the next time to win. Is what I'm assuming happened.
Okay.
Never seen anybody beat Morse.
I'm sick of mid-tiers throwing away their shot at winning more because
they think
that they can't change. They think they can't change. The game starts at CSS. The game starts at CSS. You're not
Brandon, he would have had you playing Doc forever.
You think I'm not trying out here? I'll show you my hours, Jack. Let's
move on to our next topic. Between our four guests, there are nearly 50 years of Melee tournament going experiences. In that time, many events have risen and fallen, with only a few reaching their 10th iteration, like GAHMEL, Genesis, the Big House. In the graveyard of Melee events, whose tombstone are you happy to see? Which event or events are you glad never came back?
I'll take a low-hanging fruit, Evo.
Oh, the crack smoking fruit.
Ooh, let's go.
If you would not understand or agree with me if you watch those tournaments only. Anyone who's been to all of those tournaments knows that those were the worst player experiences you could possibly have. And we lauded them as our Super Bowl for no reason.
Because they were in a friggin' huge arena with the most possible viewers. That's what the Super Bowl is.
They had 16 TVs that they stole from Vegas.
I'm glad that we have moved on from the 7-person friendly setups because my pool is in 10 minutes and I have nowhere else to play. Winner stays. We're all fighting for a chance to get chain grabs for 10 minutes, hoping that'll warm up our hands for our 8 a.m. pool. And saying that that's what we deem the most competitive environment, the most official. I'm glad it's dead so that we can have our own tournaments. Like, I know we've always had Genesis, but I'm glad that that is way more important than anything Evo ever was.
I'll one up you. We've had an even worse Super Bowl in our community, and that was Apex. Apex, why did we ever try to marry it? You know, why did we do it? Sorry, Gimmer. It was a terrible idea, and I hope it's dead forever. We do not need to be going to New Jersey in the dead of winter to play in decrepit hotels.
No, that's true.
And, you know, it was really saved by the fact that some of the most amazing moments.
But at least at Apex, the FGC people didn't stop us from our warmies. You know,
at least it was ours. I agree. Apex is right there, but at least it was ours.
They had the Japanese players in U-Hauls. I think Evo actually edges out Apex. They had wild shit going on at Apex. I enjoyed the most recent iteration of Apex, but they did not need to call it Apex. No, my hater pick that everyone's going to not like is MLG. I think there was a good group of people, but then MLG Anaheim was such a mess. They had their own proprietary software.
That tournament was fucking terrible. Oh my God.
That was awful. And what it was that it was just also ridiculous. They held up day one by 8 hours as they tried to desperately salvage whatever software they had making their brackets, which was also ridiculous. You got seeded based on when you signed up. I think Brandon played Santi like immediately, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which was fucked.
Into TOEF.
That's the crazy. They seeded based on when you signed up? Like,
yeah, it was
number one is in pool 1, number 2 is in pool 2.
Blur paid for a VIP pass and they didn't let him compete for a while, which was maybe the better choice because I saw Kirby Kaze almost JV5. Kirby Kaze was in prime form at the time. It was a rough setup. Yeah, I mean, very few setups. I think the COD people swatted other COD people at some point in the tournament. It was weirdly more fun to watch in person some of the spectacle than it was to participate in and also watch on stream where they lost the VODs and played the same Blake Shelton Cheddar ad 8,000 times.
Cheddar.
I remember they replayed some matches in pools because they didn't have the MLG official person watching the match to confirm what was going on.
Yeah, that happened to Zuan Dewan.
Yeah. Like he almost got forfeited out and then they started day 2 early, which then DQ'd a bunch of people, which is insane after you're 8 hours late the day before.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it was a tragic attempt at a resurgence of an MLG because MLG back in the day, 2007, MLG Dallas was a ton of fun. Where else am I going to enter 3 Halo 2 events and a Melee bracket?
I have a huge amount of respect for like MLG as a product, but after Anaheim, no.
Brandon, what do you got?
Worst event, SCSA West Coast Smash Circuit. It's fucking terrible. It's awful. It was the first time Mango beat Mute King with Falco. Tournament ran to like 5 a.m.
My God.
It was bad. It was bad.
Did people stay? How many people were left at 5 a.m.?
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It was like, dude, we left the tournament and then like the sun came up like right after. I was like, bro, this ain't it. We gotta not do that again. It was just like negligence. Like they just said, fuck it and just stopped running the tournament. I met Fiction at that tournament. But yeah,
you'd be awake at 4 a.m.
It was, it would have been a cool tournament if it was fucking ran. but it wasn't. So that was probably like
the tournament.
Yeah, probably was my worst experience because it ended so late. It's like MLG and Evo were worst playing experiences, but they ended. So
there's a very clear end to Evo. Everybody knows when Evo's over.
Right.
Leffen streams. He's got the great ass on stage. It's all over. But,
can I ask about a current tournament series
You should be so bold to wish death upon a current tournament.
What's going on with DreamHack? I want to know.
That's a good question.
A tournament where you have to play vanilla Melee and you can't ban players and will often be scheduled over other tournaments. Like, I just want to know. I just want to understand what's going on there.
Questions. Yeah.
Well, okay. So DreamHack obviously doesn't care about its fighting game event scheduling for its grander scheduling. And most DreamHacks in the US don't even run Melee anymore. But the FG leader is Jabali, and he always listens to our, he has local TOs that help him run the events. But Jabali always listens to our ban lists and takes that into consideration. Anything that may have been amiss, he's usually very receptive to. A lot of respect to Jabali.
So you're being mean to Jabali. That's who you're being mean to, Mikey. Do you want to apologize?
No, I don't. I don't know. I wouldn't want to go to an event run by DreamHack, given how they've gone recently.
Mikey, he weighs like 225.
Exorbitant amount to enter a DreamHack Melee tournament. That's for sure. Unless you are already going to be there.
Okay. Well, let's move on to our next topic. This one comes to me from a chat with our Pundit Tuesday. As time goes on, Slippy becomes a higher and higher percentage of all games played in Melee's history, with in-person games and tournaments becoming a smaller and smaller percentage. Do you think online etiquette is something that actually exists or should exist? And do you feel like you can accurately read somebody's emotions online? Or is Slippy just a cesspool of players who are facing their own anxieties and isolation and projecting on others?
There is nothing Melee players are worse at than thinking they know what random people on the internet are also thinking and feeling through gameplay. They're like, yeah, I played this guy for an hour. He was so mad. You could tell he was mad. And by the way, he was ledge dashing. It's insane. No, you don't know that person. They rage quit 2 games in. Maybe they had to go. You will never know. And it costs you. It's the road rage issue. Someone cuts you off. Oh, are they a dick? Are they an asshole that just no blinkered in front of you? Or maybe they didn't see you. You will never know, and it doesn't matter. So I think that there are lots of things that people will take in bad faith, and it's just so awful. But the one that gets me the worst is insta-quitters. People, I'll tell you my experience every day. I boot up unranked, and the first ice climbers start, gone. Ice climbers start, insta quit. Ice climbers start, insta quit. Happens. You know what I think? They didn't want to play ice climbers right now. It's normal. It's fine. It's never taken me more than 5 minutes to find somebody that wants to play for an hour.
How often does that happen to you in real life? I know it does happen, but how often?
It does happen, not as often. I will be playing. I mean, the obvious one is if I'm practicing handoffs at a setup, most people will walk by. They're not going to sit down and ask for friendlies. If I sit down and ask for friendlies and I plug in and play ice climbers, very rarely will somebody say, I don't really feel like playing ice climbers right now. I'm going to go find a different setup, but that does happen sometimes too.
All right. And somebody other than Tuesday. This is you're very passionate. I hear you.
It's fair.
Tuesday's making some good points here. This is the fundamental attribution error, which is that my actions are just and considered and have good reason, and every Falco player has no brain and only wishes death upon me and my family.
Very true.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that you really lose from being in person. I mean, even to the gym where everyone's kind of locked in, they're doing their own thing, just like little interactions with people. Like, how many sets do you have left? Oh, it's cool. You're using this. It's fine. It restores your faith in humanity just to have those little friction moments of just like asking how the weather is, essentially. And you do lose that in Slippy. But I will say this. I've read Smashboards. At no point have we ever had anything related to internet decorum. We have always been goblins. And the only way to purge the goblinry is to put us all in the same room, like those dogs barking at each other, and then you take up the fence. And they realize, okay, well, no, we're going to be friendly now. And, it's not Slippy's fault. We're all just demon people.
9 dogs, and you put them together, and they all start taking care of each other, and it's great.
All my dogs in therapy.
Take notes, Cody.
9 dogs together. It's called a tournament.
Yes. I don't know. Is it hopeless? I want to imagine a future where we have a Melee community with a better collective competitive mindset. Like, when somebody quit on me for playing Luigi, I personally have accepted that as being part of the unranked experience. But I would like to see a world in which people don't fucking do that anymore. It's not good for you. you shouldn't be doing it, and you would never do it in person. I maybe against an Ice Climbers player, but just little old me, little old Luigi player me. You're gonna do that to me? I'm just a little birthday boy playing Luigi over here, and it's my birthday.
Bad connection.
Yeah, but yeah, I think sometimes it is very overt, and in those like don't leave you pussy situations or the Fortnite situations, it does cross the line. And I'm not afraid to admit that I've engaged in some net play attitude retaliation against people before. I've done some I've acted up a little bit on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm part of the problem, but
so you have felt hate in your heart, and other people you think have noticed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it delusional for me to think that none of these people wish me ill will? Obviously. But am I happier for it? 100%.
Correct every single, by the way.
Brandon, what do you think?
Shit, dude. This sounds mean. I just don't give a fuck, bro. I don't care. I don't. When I play somebody, I don't give a fuck about what they're. I don't know these niggas. I don't know what I'm playing. I don't care. I just.
You shouldn't.
Huh? What's up?
And you shouldn't care.
That's right. Yeah. It's like it's hard to even give you a real answer just because it's like that means I'm thinking about that person. I don't even know if I'm playing
you
a
and
human.
Tuesday are so zen. You don't get tilted by the idiots on the internet.
That has nothing to do with being zen.
Brandon, do you play with your tag?
Humanity in them.
Do you use your tag on play?
No.
Okay, I see. So you're getting a true raw experience.
People get mad at me all the time. It's just
he's told me
that's their problem, bro.
Top 100 players quitting out on your dock.
Yeah, that's happened.
He streams with a rage quit counter.
Yeah, that's just hilarious.
But you're noticing a little bit. You're noticing a little bit.
When I had it depends on the name. Like if certain names I have, they take damage.
Mm-hmm.
But like if it's like if it sounds like a tournament name, they don't get as mad. But I don't know. It's just, bro, these people, they heathens online anyway. That's how online culture's always been. I just take it a stride, bro. They get mad, they get mad.
Fair enough. Let's move on to our next topic. Again, this week I got into various tussles with on Twitter with the TOs in the topic of uploading event sets. Many are determined to use copyright strikes to defend their VODs from re-uploaders, but we are approaching 2 weeks out from the Pat's house, and Mango versus Cody is still not uploaded. The vast majority of viewership for tournaments happens the next day or two after an event ends, and Pat's house is the most recent of a growing trend of events that have not uploaded sets within that high demand window. Can we admit the TOs need to do better here, or will the gamers out there cancel me for suggesting that TOs might deserve some criticism?
No, it's cyclical the way we treat TOs. We don't give them enough credit because they're the hardest working people in Smash. Then suddenly, wow, TOs are actually pretty lazy in a lot of these areas. And now we can't admit it because we just said last week, these are the hardest working people in Smash. But there are some things that they could be doing for sure. If they're not going to upload it themselves, they have this optimism that they'll get around to it eventually. Push it off to somebody else, delegate it to somebody else. It's still your responsibility. That's part of the event.
I think I don't give a shit about whether TOs want to upload their VODs or not. I think it's completely fine to not upload your VODs. But if you're copyright striking people who are uploading them secondhand, I think that's a fucked up way of restricting access to people who might otherwise watch your tournament. And I think broadly, we need to teach these gamers how to have ethical frameworks, Jack. People to understand that we live in a society where we need to we are subject to unjust copyright laws.
Copyright laws.
I'd like to see us live our principles here. I would like to see us become a copyright radical community, and in many ways we are. We pilot this game that we play. I don't know if you know that. We have many unlicensed tournaments, despite the copyright holder asking us to run those tournaments. Past and present and future, forever and ever, amen. And so I think that it's a little bit whack for people to turn around and insist on wielding the power of the state to take away from the internet the pirated downloads of their VODs when we pirate this game for free. So I just think that it's
Bring it home.
It's a contradiction. You know, it's
Okay.
it's hypocritical, Jack, is what it is.
Okay, I hear you.
I mean, this is a well-rationed, well-reasoned point. Counterpoint, fuck them. I'll say it. One thing that we don't like in this community are people that are perceived to be leeches in any way. If Walt catches every single slug possible for, I don't know, talking in an esports voice, I don't see why we can't shoot down the VOD uploaders.
But
I will.
why do you
evils of the
think
viewers. This is the
Call
evils
the
of
cops on Walt for using an esports voice.
Why do you think that we can't just tweet about it? Why do you think that that's insufficient? To
That's
just
what we did.
To just publicly shame these people and say "fuck you," you know?
Well, that's what ended up working.
To
Copyright striking. Copyright striking does not work on Sunnyside Gone. He's too powerful. He will make another account. Michael Scott's paper company. Michael, he's got plenty of companies and names. What stopped him was Twitter. And I do want to make a side point here and defend San Diego by saying Georgie is probably maybe not arrested for protesting for Palestine. But that's probably not why the VODs are late. I will admit that. Tuesday, could you please upload the VOD of me actually doing good in one of these game shows for once? I was cooking, and people need to know that I don't just lose this show every single week. I need to see this footage.
Where are the VODs, Tuesday?
I have a half-cooked Premiere project on my desktop that I open every day and work on for 30 seconds.
That's good. I'll take that. That's fine.
Should I go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell. I mean, people just emphasize the stream too much. Thank God this wasn't back in the day. They'd get obliterated for that. But yeah, I mean, you just gotta be on your pivot, man. Upload the VODs. Shit is not hard now. You can just like clip it and upload it.
You would know.
Yeah, it's not hard. You don't have to splice and do all that shit.
I actually think pretty much everybody in this show today has been in the trenches of pick up your computer, bring it to the local, slice up all the VODs and upload them the next day. Like, I know it's not always like it, but it's very doable. All right. Off the soapbox there for Mikey. Let's move on to our next topic. We are now 7 years out from the initial release of UCF. I remember when it first came out, there were heated debates, not only about dumb stuff like does it cause phantoms, but more fundamental questions like does this buff Fox or does this change the game beyond what we should alter? But we're deep in it now. What are the good things and bad things that have come from 7 years of UCF? And did we make the right choice? Brandon, you want to start?
Yeah, we made the right choice. Tournament standard across the board, just the controller lottery shit's more dead, it just makes it more accessible for everybody. So yeah, I think we made the right call. I mean, some hiccups here and there, but overall now it's flushed out more so.
Yeah, I don't think that this is the fault of UCF necessarily, but I do think that some people maybe took UCF and just the idea that we can mod this game now and took it sort of to its logical conclusion that we can just kind of build new controllers that do different things now. And I guess what's said in the diss track is right, and we should ban every box. I think that was maybe an unfortunate negative externality of UCF, but I do think that it's a very good thing to eliminate the controller lottery and to kind of bring us all up to the of the best available OEM. I think that's a good project. I think as long as it sticks to that, it's going to continue to be good. Have you played Vanilla Melee lately? Have any of you tried it? It's so hard.
It's been a minute. It
makes me feel like an idiot. I've played it at people's houses when they're like, "Oh, I got a Melee setup from like years ago," and everything feels wrong.
Yeah, they got me spot on the platform.
Slubby kids who have never had to press A to turn into Sheik in their gosh darn lives complain that nowadays controllers are pay to win because they got fobs, they got boxes. You didn't live in the era where literally Armada was the only one who could dash back into chain grab on Peach because they DI'd behind because he had 100 controllers per event.
And they call him the GOAT.
Do you know what's more expensive than a $200 fob? 50 controllers. It is so much more cheap to get a good working controller now than it's ever been. And they don't know because they've never heard Peach say, "Oh, did I win?"
Armand's an NBA player who has an army of like 5'9" trainers and like a personal chef and shit, you know?
And they're like, well, he's obviously the greatest ever touch the sticks.
People made fun of Music King for his little bowler's bag full of controllers, but they didn't know Armada would show up to DreamHack and cycle through 100 before
he would drop out of events if he couldn't find a good controller.
If he would go through everyone's controller at the event and not find one that could dash back out of crouch, he would DQ.
Michigan knows where all that money went, and it was to Donald Trump. And if you know, you know, and if you don't know, then you don't know. Shout outs to Beach. Yeah, I mean, the biggest issue that I have with UCF is that it did change the balance of the game. You know, it democratized dash back, which I think is bad. You shouldn't be able to dash away. Why are you dashing away from somebody? Martha's too strong right now. We should have nerfed it. We also should destroy every leverless controller. And if that means that I got to get rid of my fob, so be it. I mean, you know, the world in which anyone can just take their controller that they've been playing with at the fraternity house or, I don't know, in their high school basement or something like that, and just show up to a tournament and be on an even keel with the professional players. That's the dream. Leffen has some evil in his controller, and I will say the most top players were using Dweens in 2017 through 2018. I think they were always going to cheat.
Okay. Let's move on to our next topic. With Mikey's trailer for this episode, he has, in my mind, ascended into the pantheon of Smash rappers. It was a low bar, and he cleared it. What is the best Smash diss track and why? Anybody can start.
So hear me out. I think Bobby Big Balls has the best Smash raps, but I think the Army one was just, yeah, the hook was just hidden, you know. That might be the best one.
I'll never forget. Yeah,
fuck his name.
I'll never forget.
Army was hit. I mean, you know, of course you got the GOAT chilling, you know what I'm saying? Chilling in the pantheon, but just that guy Zane, God Axe, that shit was in my head every time I watch Zane and Axe play. I'm like, dude, damn, he really like music does that to you, man.
Yeah, it lives there. Yeah, that might be the best hook. Yeah,
the hook. Yeah, I guess overall songs, it's probably chilling. The Hugo one, I like that was slept on, but the hook, God Zane. God Axe every time.
Crazy.
If you're talking about track, I think Army has it. If you're talking about a catalog, Bobby. And if you're talking, Chillin'. If you're talking about catalog, it's Chillin'. If you're talking about versatility between rap and Midwest emo, it's Bobby Big Balls.
Fair.
Bobby is our little B. I will say Chillin' is probably at the top. And I also did have Armies as my best one. I think about Bird Bitch talking about many sets many times. I was thinking about that last week, actually. But I will say probably the best diss track in Smash history generally was probably, and I hate to say this because Drake is on the way out, it's, you know, a very underrated writer who did a lot of ghostwriting for Chillin' was Neo. And Neo came out with Meta Knight the Best, which was just a diss track against probably like 30 or 40 top players at the time. And I think about that all the time. And 2K versus Genus, yeah, you've seen, dog. And that one is probably the most infectious to me. I think like normal people have seen that even more than the Chillin' diss tracks. Ooh. And that one probably is the most.
You know, an underrated diss track, shout out to Juan, the energy one. Where they hit Kevin in the background, trying to take away from a player.
Yeah, Kevin in the background definitely made the track so much fun.
Yeah, that was a slept on one too.
Or Drake parodies. Goddamn.
Well, no, right.
All right, Mikey, you're a producer, right? You've done 2 of these tracks. What's your favorite? What's your inspiration?
Yeah, I'll just say fuck the big 3. It's just big me. You know, it doesn't really matter who the best one is because somehow the Grammys are still going to find a way to give it to, you know, the Macklemore of the situation, which is whoever did that monthly diss track. You know, so at the end of the day, they're taking home the hardware for.
Okay. No love for Mike Hayes. I think about never getting gold.
I
never EP Tectonic Improv reviewed it on YouTube, gave it 4, and then Anthony Fantano retweeted and signed the review. So it's unfortunately not looking good for Mike.
Listen, maybe you shouldn't have branched out of Smash. Maybe the never getting gold because it's too far your element. I think about that once a week. I swear to God, whenever I'm failing. I imagine Mike.
I want to include Mike because it would be sad as if the professional rapper entered the fray and didn't win it. So I was just like, he gets number 0. He's the rapper of the group. So I'm not going to include him in this.
Me and him are beefing now. Both Mikes.
I thought this was like the Olympics.
That's over.
Okay. Let's move on to our next topic and final one. Looking forward, Get On My Level 10, aka GAHMELEX, kicks off next weekend, May 17th through 19th. It's got over 1,800 attendees, 16 events, and is drawing most of the top 10 to Toronto, including some hard-to-get gamers like Wizrobe, as well as international talent. What are your expectations for GAHMEL? Who will win? Who will make upsets? Let's start with Mikey.
I feel like this has been said 15 times on this show before. It's time for Moki to finally be. I haven't even looked back to see if that's possible.
How much do you want to do a point bet? Do you want to do a point bet on it? Because we have said it a million times.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it.
How many points do you want to put on it?
I'll take 10 off of my next episode. This inevitably actually happened. But imagine the 6th win, Jack. It's grim out here for the city of Toronto. Imagine if the hometown was able to finally exercise the moist mobile demon that is insane and make it happen. And my 10 points is just hope here that it'll finally happen for Moki.
Honestly, I don't even think Toronto wants to win this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've accepted that it's time to just settle down and hibernate. This is possibly the worst possible series of events that could happen before a Canadian tournament. The 6th god is the 69 god. And they're saying run for your life out here. That is a demoralized city. I think Moki's going to take the summer off.
Yeah, I saw some pleading on Twitter. They're like, Zuppy, please play Fox. We need a W. Come on, with all these things happening. And he's definitely going to play Falco and get a cool 33rd. But
respect.
I'll tell you right now, if he plays the tournament and doesn't DQ, Junebug is getting top 16.
Ooh, good call, good call.
And I think, speaking of Kong, I think Quang is going to get top 64 for sure.
Okay.
After the last couple tournaments that he went to Japan and ascended to a new level of weeb, and now he's just unstoppable.
To start sending people happy birthday posts like another Donkey Kong main that we.
No, please, I can't have that. No, Thunders, you gotta relax. There was a time and a place, and it's not now.
There are breeds of weeb, and hopefully he's just a different breed.
True, Kwang after Akagi Bahara is Akagi. I don't know. Won that bodied, which was incredible. That's just a completely nuts performance out of nowhere. And Sunsei's there, who he hunts for sport. They got to stop seeding Sunsei into the Donkey Kongs. This has to stop right now. Oh, man. Can they move the tournament to SoCal? I feel so bad.
Oh, dear.
That might not help them with the Donkey Kong problem.
No.
No.
I don't know what to think about GAHMEL. Hopefully, it's a good event. That'd be cool to see Moki actually like win in Toronto. I think that'd be dope. Catch me there, hitting the Smees, blasting that they not like us. You know what I'm saying? On my West Coast shit. But aside from that, I heard New Ho King's near the venue.
Ooh, every Smash was going there.
Right? I'm like, bro, that shit's probably super crowded. But overall, hopefully it's a good event. I just hope we see like classics, game 5s.
Yeah.
And I hope Moki has like a good run. I always think the energy he brings in general, but especially out there, man, they really fuck with it. So
yeah. There's been many GAHMELs where Moki has been about to make a legendary, like life-changing upset, and then the crowd starts jeering and yelling at HBox, and that it's just gonna reverse immediately. They always fall into the trap. Alrighty, we have reached the end of our regular topics. We only have the tiebreaker remaining, and everybody pretty much is tied. So this is pretty important. You throw here, you lose the game. If you win, you win. Let's go into it. There is a seemingly endless trend of YouTubers presenting an audience of people who don't play Melee a picture of our scene where TOs are nefarious evildoers and nobody is having fun, and most of the people who we've ever banned did nothing wrong. How do we combat this dumb shittery? What are we supposed to do? Anybody can go first if you want to take it.
Okay. This is just more of the Smash players smell bad thing. anyone who's part of the scene knows that this isn't true. It's something that everyone on the outside likes to look. Okay, I see that look. Yeah, I know. You get a group of guys big enough together, and it's gonna smell a little funky, but it's not as bad as a Tool concert. Let me tell you. Anyway, you. On the outside looking in, it's fun to everyone have this little joke, have this little thing. You're like, oh man, I can't believe they're doing that, and they're never going to get into the scene to really see for themselves what it's actually like, what the real information is. Our best bet is someone even bigger from inside. Ludwig, please save us. Mogul Mail has to combat all of this.
Okay.
Once again, please save me, Daddy.
Okay. Love it, Daddy.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Just think it's almost just like, why even try to convince those people? They already think what they think. I don't think you change those people's minds, right?
Yeah.
At least that's what I'd like to think, but I don't know.
Okay.
Not sure.
Mike, you're Chroma in a standoff.
Said this for a lot of. I think this applies to a lot of situations, and I think it really is kind of the same answer here. I do think Brandon's right to a certain extent that there are just going to be people that are going to have this perception of us forever, and that's unfortunate. But those people, by and large, are people who are just kind of like anti-community as people. I think they look at a group of people like us, and they inherently shit on us. Like they want to be dismissive of people who are part of a community like ours. I don't exactly know where that comes from. Maybe it's just because they don't really have community on their own. But I feel like I've seen a lot of just a casual online discourse about how the Melee community is just toxic, throughout the years. And I think that the best way we can combat that is by continuing to, as much as possible and as intentionally as possible, tell people about the type of community we really are. Tell people about the qualities about our community that we value the most and the reasons that we find it to be so special. And to the extent that misinformation exists, I think we should, obviously combat that. But for the most part, I think that playing into the drama YouTuber game of just trying to fight this battle endlessly is kind of pointless. And it won't work really, unfortunately.
Chroma.
Yeah, I think culturally there needs to be a shift, and there needs to be a disincentivization for letting people that don't know anything about ball talk about ball. Why am I listening to academics and DJ Vlad talk about diss tracks? What do they know? They're industry shills at the end of the day at best. I like Pan and Coke. He's great at figuring out what's going on with Super Mario 64. What does he know about, Smash communities? Why do people think that these people are authorities because they play a different video game? If you look at the Smash Reddit, everyone's like, no, this is actually strictly wrong. He didn't mention this. He didn't mention that. This is entirely just a fabrication based on a guy who took a parasocial relationship with someone that he viewed as a hero. I mean, the guy even said, Simple Flips even said, it doesn't really matter what he did. He's just so valuable for being good at the game. And it's so antithetical to the way that we construct and organize communities that the best thing you can do in the community is just raise your voice and say, no, that is not what's going on. That is some bullshit. The TOs are too nice to spill the various tea that I heard spilling around about what Hax is up to in Brooklyn. That's all I'm going to say. But just vehemently standing up for what we know is whack shit, shouldn't be in the scene, is a pretty viable thing to do. And just disincentivizing, letting people that don't know what they're talking about talk about the culture that we've encouraged,
Also that my DMs are open if literally anyone want to have a conversation with me about it. I wrote the ban document.
That's right.
I've heard fucking crickets people. A couple of people have messaged me about it, but if you're doing a video about it, the least you can do is ask someone what the fuck is up. It's incredibly uncharitable, and it's fucking vulture behavior, frankly, from Simple Flips. It's so whack. I can't believe it.
He put the team on that video. He didn't ask a single one of them what was good, and they could have shown them. They could have shown
government names on there.
The links. There are court cases out there. You should hear the stuff that Hax is on record saying about his intellectual property. I mean,
in honor of in honor of your answer there, I'm gonna give this one to the writer of our trailer. It's the cheat with his 5th win. I'm so sorry, Chroma. I'm so sorry. But you did. I didn't like you as much as Mikey. Once again. It just keeps happening to you here. Thank you to everybody. We're going to go and load up our doubles or whatever free-for-all in the teams mode on Slippy Online. We'll catch you back. Stick with us while we transition over to the free-for-all.
Hurt people, hurt people.
Hi, I'm playing because Chrome's East Coast. So that's not going to work.
Wait, where is Chroma right now?
New Jersey.
Well, yeah, but like I thought he'd be in this free-for-all, right?
Oh, we decided to save the internet.
It was unbelievably unplayable. It was like 100 ping and 5 frames per second.
Oh my. Oh my.
Get me up there. Oh, Christ
shit.
almighty.
Oh my.
Get me on that fucking UFO. Look at how good I can slide.
It's so crazy how bad ice climbers are at getting up there.
This is terrible stage for ice climbers, dude.
It is one of the worst. Ironically, their worst stage is Icicle Mountain.
That makes sense.
Oh. Oh. Oh wow.
I thought I heard us. Oh my god.
Like a ping pong ball.
I disappeared.
Oh my. Oh no. Oh. Oh.
Mikey, I want to speak about the government.
No, tell him.
Not a big fan of the government.
Speak to the people, Michael.
No one is stopping you.
No one's stopping you.
Oh my goodness.
Have you heard their other song, Chrome? I'm never paying my taxes.
I have not.
Dead.
I only know
I
about the
show you
government. All right, I'd like to see that.
Chrome, when's the response coming, man? Am I gonna have to pull out AI voices?
All right, so I had like 20 minutes recorded, but it was all just me shit talking various top players and like maybe 20 seconds about you. But then I get sidetracked really easily.
Mikey, pull up the AI Santiago.
Can I hit Chroma Hurts? Truly.
There's
Oh,
nothing
wow.
that you could do to me that could hurt me anymore.
AI Drug Fox?
Anymore.
Oh what?
Oh man, I had
What the fuck?
I had
That's crazy.
7 minutes just
Oh,
on
that's-
Ross versus Get a War Machine.
It's so rude.
I had a whole
I'm
thing
not trying to get a
about
combo video.
Fine.
I'm trying to become the first ever to win show and the fight.
Oh.
Me.
Man, someone better get him out of
Oh,
here.
that's right.
Oh. Oh my.
Brandon, I need this. You gotta kill Mikey.
I'm trying.
I know. This is a horrible, horrible.
I got Falco super hard that last time.
There we go. We love it.
Oh.
I tried to back air at a shield.
I'm kidding.
No.
Can Tuesday wobble in the CISO? No, right?
I think it's
Low-key, I
hardwired
was
out.
going to try to freeze glitch Mikey.
We could freeze glitch Mikey.
That is allowed.
But then how do you kill?
If you do it, I'll give up a show.
If you freeze
Wait,
glitch
too.
somebody in this game mode, we restart the talking part of the show.
One
Mikey
topic,
never
3
watched
minutes.
Survivor tonight.
We'll never know
Oh
why
my
Venus
goodness.
was so excited for this episode.
Oh, that was sick. That was sick.
Oh no, this is bad for me. You know, the thing is that if Mikey wins, it counts as a win for me, but I am a committed hater. I don't want to see it.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
It's crazy in free-for-alls, like when people actually aren't just like soft teaming up, that you could do a team combo and then immediately turn around and start attacking the person you just worked with.
Right.
If you're a psychopath, you can do that in regular games too.
Do it, Mikey.
All right, let's go.
The battle.
Oh no.
Oh!
Oh, if I missed.
Oh what? I'm scared.
Oh,
Blast.
that was not the move. I'm getting tall.
Blast.
Oh
Oh,
fuck.
not this bullshit again. Oh no.
Trying to get up there.
Oh no.
Oh, it worked.
Fuck me, dude. Fuck me.
Okay,
I was
that
like,
is
he's just
Denmark.
gonna
Thank you
marry
all
that
for
shit,
watching.
bro.
Winner of the fight on Fourside is Homemade Waffles. Winner of the Fourside Fights talk show, Mikey the Cheat. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Hope you had fun. Bye-bye. Bye.